All right, right here, this is the nectar of the gods when it comes to salmon fishing. Good old roe. When we're using roe up here, there's times when the squaw fish are so thick that you can't get your bait down to the salmon before it gets just completely obliterated. The squaw fish is a native minnow here that lives in the Sacramento River. Just a sort of nuisance fish. They will rip your bait off the hook all the time, and they live in the same area. So a lot of times you put your roe down to the bottom right where the salmon are, and it never gets a chance to get seen by salmon. So there is a fix for that, and it's called making spawn sacks or making berries, whatever you want to call it. Basically, you're putting your eggs in a mesh sack so they can't get completely devoured by squaw fish to give the salmon a chance to see it. The way you do this is you can buy a couple different types of netting. A lot of companies make it. You have a couple different varieties here. This is the roll. This is a little less expensive than the pre-cut squares, but I'm all about the pre-cut squares. They're way easier. Take a couple squares, lay them down on your work area here. Then you cut the bait into size chunks that you want. Now we're typically using anywhere from a dime-sized piece of bait up to a quarter. Just kind of depends on the day, what the fish want. And then you take some thread, you wad it up basically like a wonton or a dumpling. And then I just kind of twist it tight. You don't want to squeeze too hard because you're going to mush all the bait in there. And then you take the thread, do a few wraps around the top, throw a half hitch, cinch it down, pull it tight, and then you just trim the excess off right there, the little top. Boom. Now that bait's gonna last a lot longer than just a regular piece of roe that's not in a bag. And ready to go. And then I just put them in a little container for the next day. So you have a bunch ready to go. So Scott, you could eat salmon eggs, and people do, but that's a terrible waste of really good bait. So don't do it. Just do this and let's go fishing.